All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for BayPath's online information session about our post-professional occupational therapy doctorate degree with the OSEP grant specifically addressing. My name is Anastasia Spermuli. I'm the Director of Graduate Admissions here at BayPath, and I'm going to have everyone else introduce themselves as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Julie Watson. I'm the Program Director of the Post-Professional OTD program. I'm happy to be here today to talk with you all about this exciting opportunity. And next we have Dr. Rayanne Smith.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm full-time faculty in the Post-Professional OTD program at BayPath.
And Holly Johnson.
Hello, everybody. My name is Holly Johnson, and I am the program administrator for the OTD.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So this session is recorded, and we will follow up with it for you, so you don't have to take any notes if you don't want to. In also the handouts of the GoToWebinar, there is an OTD OSEP flyer, so feel free to download that, but we will also include it in our follow-up email as well. If you have any questions during any time, type them into the question box provided with your GoToWebinar, and we'll be able to answer that for you as well. But within the half an hour that we have scheduled today, we'll get things started for you guys. So for those of you who might not be familiar with BayPath University, we were founded in 1897, and we are a not-for-profit private institution. We technically have 3 campuses. 2 of them are in Massachusetts. They're about 4 miles apart, and we have a huge presence of our online, especially programs that are online, such as our post-professional OTD. Our student body population is just a little over 3,300 students. This does include our graduate, undergraduate, and doctoral level students. So we are a fairly small institution, but we do have ever-growing alumni population of over 17,000 worldwide alumni. And as an institution, we are accredited by the New England Commission of Higher Education. Some of the reasons of why students choose BayPath University is because we have a flexible and accessible approach to learning, such as our online programs. We have an extremely supportive faculty and staff. They've all been there and done that, so they know exactly how it is, and they're super understanding. We have an engaging and diverse community, innovative approach to learning with our online platform, Canvas, and immediately applicable knowledge. Everything that you're going to learn in a classroom will be applicable to your careers. And now I'm going to pass things over to Dr. Watson, who's going to chat with you guys about the grant overview and the program.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. So we listed some information here so you could just be familiar with our, with our grant. We sought out to promote diversity in the OT profession and improve school-based practice. The grant was awarded by the U.S. Department of Education through the Office of Special Education Programs. So this department, or this office, they actually run a number of grants, many of them focused on teaching and other school-related services, as well as special education. So it was interesting. We got to attend a meeting recently, and there were other health professions present, as well as special education teachers. And the purpose of our grant is to increase the number and diversity of occupational therapists serving school-age children with disabilities with high-intensity needs. So that is the focus of our grant, and that is going to be the overall focus of some of the things that you would take part in as part of this grant. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Overall, our plan is to have 8 scholars per year for 4 years, so for a total of 32 scholars. And the program is 2 years long, so the grant is actually 5 years, and that last year would be that 4th group of scholars finishing the OTD program. We wanted to, explain what's behind this grant. Like, what are you going to get out of being a scholar in this program? So there's a scholarship of up to $10,500 a year for 2 years towards tuition. And that does give you a $21,000 tuition discount, which means that the tuition cost that remains is about $8,500 a year for the 2 years for the program. In addition, we would pay for the AOTA student membership for 2 years. You get an autism spectrum disorders graduate certificate. We pay for the AOTA school-based practice professional certificate through AOTA, and you get up to $3,000 for AOTA conference attendance and travel to present your capstone at an AOTA conference. In addition to those benefits, we also have planned professional learning communities where we will focus on those kids with high intensity needs in the school system. There is one-on-one mentoring throughout the program and for 2 years post-graduation. We have a number of alumni with lots of experience that have actually done the Autism Spectrum Disorder Certificate through our program that have agreed to be mentors. And so we'll align you with someone that is going to be a good fit, we hope, right for you as a mentor-mentee relationship. We have a structured capstone sequence designed for work-life balance so that we know that you're working full-time, and we actually have a lot of experience working with school-based therapists. So we know that when IEP season in the spring is in full swing, that can be a tough time. So we definitely are aware of the need for flexibility and happy to support you right during those busy times with work or family life. We have additional support for English language learners as part of the OSEP grant, in addition to assistive technology for students with disabilities. And then there's ongoing professional development opportunities as part of this program as well. So you don't have to worry about those CEUs every year as part of this, because you'll be able to easily meet your licensure requirements no matter what state you're in. Next, what we have for you is just an example of the course sequence. So we do expect students in the program to take 2 courses per term. We do run 3 terms per year. The program starts in the spring and ends that year 2 in the fall. So you can see the order of classes that you would take: spring, summer, fall in year 1. And then you can see in year 2, you have your 3 capstone courses and the 3 courses that you take the Autism Spectrum Disorders certificate courses. Now, if you look at year 1 in the spring, OTD 706 is a new course that we've specially designed specifically for the OSEP grant program. And it's within that course that you will complete the AOTA school-based practice certificate. Now, we always get a lot of questions about the capstone experience. So as I mentioned, in your second year, you saw that there's capstone 1, capstone 2, capstone 3. And don't worry, we'll be providing these slides, so you'll see it again in case I went too quickly. But these 3 courses are sequential. They take a year total to complete. And again, we've really tried to structure things. It's a very structured process so that you know exactly what you need to work on. And it's broken down into smaller chunks so that it's really manageable when you have a busy family and work life. The project does have to be an individualized research project that focuses on that school-age children with disabilities with high intensity needs population for your project. But there's a lot of different opportunities, whether it's program development or continuing education related, or doing some sort of intervention in the school system. Really, any of those things are possible. We have a proposal process that you do in your 3rd term in the program. Now, we do talk about capstone, right, in semester 1 and semester 2. So it's not like we just, start talking about it all at once. But in semester 3 specifically, you will go through a proposal process where we help you develop your project to make sure that it's feasible to complete in the time frame allotted, and that there's like that practical piece to it, right? Do you have all those components you need? We help you think through all of the little details that might need to be put in place in order for your project to run smoothly and successfully. There's faculty and peer support throughout the process, and we actually divide students into small learning communities. So the capstone courses, you're actually only in class with probably 3 to 4 students for your capstone project. And that we kind of group people either by their project type, or sometimes it's by content matter, so that there really is the opportunity to support each other. And you have a faculty member that serves as your chair for the project, who supports you throughout that project, through all of those classes. The thing that's really great about the capstone is it really is a culmination of all the things that you've learned and all of your experience in the school system that comes together in a really great way. If students have projects going on at their work, we'll try to align your capstone to like match that work project. We really want to be supportive of the work that you're doing out there in the field and find a way for it to also work for your capstone. So keep that in mind as you think about what might I do? What are some of the initiatives that are happening in your work environment? And what might you incorporate as a capstone that's going to be beneficial not only for your OTD, but also right for your work. And we do need to mention that as part of the OSEP grant, because you are getting government funding, there is a service obligation. So for each year of the program, you would owe a service requirement of 2 years. So that means a 4-year total service obligation. Now, one of the really interesting aspects of this that we found out in our meetings with the OSEP grant administrators is that you can actually start that service obligation after you've completed your first year in the program. So you can start your service obligation early, a year early, which means that when you finish the program, you would just need to work 3 more years in the school-based practice setting in order to meet that service obligation. There are specific reporting requirements, and we do have more information. We can definitely answer more questions about that, but most of the answers are available on a frequently asked questions page through the service obligation. There's a specific site for it. Now, if you are new to online learning or haven't been back to school for a while, I want you to know that BayPath has a really robust online support for students. All of our students live all over the country. We've even had international students before. We've had people who, are fairly new out of an entry-level program, and we have people who have been in practice for more than 20 years. We have a really great range of students, practitioners. Everyone has really been able to successfully join our program and navigate things. I think that we do a really great job of having an online community. We have times where we can come together in person, and as part of this opportunity, this grant, we actually are going to be meeting even more. That mentorship component, the professional learning communities, we have ongoing guest speakers and different things like that, where you really do get to meet the students in your program and get to know the faculty in the program. We use Canvas. So if you're familiar with different learning management systems, Canvas is very easy to use. But if you've used Blackboard or Moodle or any of the other ones, you'll have no problem using Canvas. We have a course that helps you orient to Canvas if you're not familiar with it. And we actually have an online orientation that helps prepare you for the types of activities you'll be doing in the OTD courses. What's great about Canvas is you can access it from a desktop or a tablet, or on your phone. I really love the mobile app when I'm doing discussions, because I'll use the speech to text function on my phone to really be able to quickly write, right? Like responses to the discussions. It's also great because if you have time on your lunch break or something to read an article or watch a video, you can do that on your phone. But you feel more comfortable, like I do, typing something up on my laptop, then, you can easily switch between, the mobile app or the website online. The telecommunication and video capabilities are built into Canvas, so that makes it really convenient. If you're going to have a class meeting, you can kind of do that right through Canvas. And we also have a dedicated online support team. When I say that, the students have told us that they really do have great support. They have evening hours, so you can sign up for a time to meet with an IT professional and actually get help. So many of our students work. I think almost everyone does. And so, being able to have help outside of typical business hours is really important for our student population. And like I said, we do try to build an online community. So even though we're not seeing each other in person all the time, we do have opportunities to meet and mingle and get to know each other better. And now I think I will turn things back over to Anastasia. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So when it comes to student financial services, that is not my area of expertise, but we have an amazing department that is their area of expertise, and they'll be more than happy to assist you via phone, email. If you live locally, you can stop by in person and chat with them. They do have FAFSA Fridays. This is where you get live help filling out your financial aid application. If you do need help, and obviously ask any questions pertaining to financial aid, they'll be more than happy to assist. And our current tuition rate for the OTD program is $10.60 a credit. As far as the application requirements, so the OSEP grant is only available for the spring start date, which is January 13th. And the deadline to apply and submit all of the documents necessary is going to be December 1st. So it's coming around very quickly, but I've had students complete their application as quickly as literally 24 to 48 hours. So it is possible. Please don't think, that it's not possible. So what you will need to, in order to be eligible, and what you need to submit is that you need to have a current or planned employment within the school-based setting. We do need to have your GPA above a 3.0. You'll need to submit all of your official college and university transcripts. This is including your undergrad, graduate, any community colleges maybe that you've attended. We'll need all of your transcripts. We'll need a current resume or curriculum, whatever you have, as long as your resume or what you have is more geared towards getting into graduate school rather than seeking employment. We'll need your copy of your NBCOT certification or state license. There is a signed program requirements form that you will need to fill out, and that if it's not available on the website, I'll be more than happy to send that as well, but I believe it is there. We'll need 2 recommendations. The form does need to be completed by your recommender, and it is also available online. We'll need a writing sample. This is something that you can submit that was done at the graduate level, and it needs to be in APA format using references. And then the last portion is going to be submitting the personal essay. As you can see what the prompt is, please use that, and usually people do about 2 pages following the APA format. Now I'm going to open up the floor to questions. If you guys have any questions, please type them into the question box provided with your GoToWebinar. I'll be able to read it out loud so everyone can hear your question if they haven't thought of it. And then everyone will be able to answer that for you guys.
Anastasia, I just wanted to make a quick point of clarification that the resume or CV, they can send something that is, like they have whatever their most recent resume or CV is. Yep. It doesn't have to be specially tailored or anything.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes people have like objective and it says like seeking employment. You could just take that out and then, that will be your general CV or resume. All right, one of the questions is GRE required, and they are not, so don't worry about that. Another question is, what grant writing opportunities are included in the program?
That's a great question. So actually in the OTD 701 course, which students take in the fall of year one, grant writing is included as course content for that course. It's the research methods course. So there is a component of grant writing included.
Great. Is there a specific type of writing sample that you prefer we submit?
No, we're not too picky about this. If you have a paper or even write a short paper, something that's done in APA format, we're just looking to get a feel for, your writing and ability to incorporate APA into your writing. So some sort of paper that incorporates that is fine. Honestly, like a couple of pages is fine. If you have something longer, that's totally fine too. Most people are able to find something from their entry-level OT program that they can, send to us. And it's okay if it's like been corrected or if it's old, it can be scanned. Definitely, low pressure on that. Just an example is fine.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole point of this too, and Dr. Watson, please correct me, is that at BayPath, within the OTD program, we use APA format. So that's going to be your primary way to cite everything and to the way you will write the papers. So that is the background point behind of why we would like that. Another question is, does it matter if the graduate paper is more than 10 years back?
No, that's totally fine. And I know that might mean that, you need to brush up on APA, but honestly, there's plenty of time for that and plenty of support within the program. All students actually have access to the APA website through our library. So it's a really easy way for you to, they have quizzes and tutorials just to help people get up to speed. So it doesn't matter if the paper's old. We don't mind at all.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of resources. We have an incredible library resources that people who will help you, if you can't find specific articles, because sometimes it gets very specific, nitty gritty in the library, they will help you narrow down research, get some articles for your books. We have obviously an online library, but we also have a physical library. So if you have some books that is the book that you want, they will actually ship it to you. So something just to keep in mind for, all the things that you need for help.
Because the librarians will actually meet with students again in the evenings. They have evening and weekend hours so that there is availability. If you need, help conducting a search or you're not finding something, we actually have students who meet, with the librarians for support for developing literature reviews and things like that.
Absolutely. How large is the pool of students that you are selecting 8 for the cohort?
So we do not know how big the, application pool is going to be yet. We have a few applications, but at this point, I think a lot of them are in process. We will be accepting students, right? Like 8 students per year over the next 4 years. So if somebody isn't accepted, they certainly can apply again the next year. We also wanted to make sure that people were aware that there is the option, right, to complete the program and do the autism spectrum disorder certificate. You wouldn't do the AOTA school-based practice certificate, but we do have the ability to transfer in for students who are not doing the OSEP program up to 3 courses. And we also have a graduate assistantship available, which again is not available to students who are doing the OSEP specific grant program, but we do have a graduate assistantship available, which also provides some tuition support. And so we do have a graduate assistantship available each year. Just in case any people are interested in either one of our other concentrations, or right, if they don't happen to be accepted into the first 8, but you're really excited about doing an OTD and the autism spectrum disorder certificate feels like a good fit for you, we do have some other options for you.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the questions, is if I don't get accepted, what are my options? So essentially, one option is for you to apply the following year, or you could just do the program without the OSEP grant, with other opportunities for you to transfer in courses and seeking assistantships if that's available. Program is covered by the grant for tuition.
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit, Anastasia. Could you say that again?
Nope. How much of the program is covered by the grant for tuition?
Yes, so it's actually more than half of the tuition is covered. The credit amount, the per credit amount is $476, and it would end up being, instead of $38,160, the total scholarship is for $21,000, so it comes out to $17,160. Over 2 years, that's $8,580 per year. And there are Stafford loans available, right? If that's an amount, which understandable, I, did loans when I went back to school myself. So there are Stafford loans available to help, with that amount.
Yep, and most students qualify for up to $20,500 per year for that. So you could, I think, take out for books can be part of it. Again, that's financial aid experts. They can tell you more about that, but most students qualify for the $20,500, and that's regardless of income limit as well. I presently have my bachelor's degree from Bay Pass in 2003. I would like to verify that the applicants can have their bachelor's and not specifically a master's degree.
So right now we are only taking people that have a master's degree, but what I wanted to, what I would want to say is that we do have a number of master's programs at BayPath that are online that can be completed in 2 years. So I would encourage that person to potentially look at doing one of the master's programs, and then they could, directly, go into the OSEP grant upon finishing, because we will be taking students for the next 4 years.
And if you would like to chat more about that, feel free. We'll have contact information in just a little bit for Dr. Watson, Dr. Ryan Smith. So if you guys have any specific questions pertaining to you guys, you can ask for that as well. I did my undergraduate and graduate courses for OT through BayPath. Just graduated in 2020. Congratulations. Do you happen to know if I can still access my old Canvas account to pull up these past APA classes that we're talking about? I believe you guys have access to your BayPath email for life. That includes, I believe, Canvas. I have access to mine, and I think I graduated back in 2018, 2019. So you should definitely feel free to contact IT. The other thing I would like to point out is that BPU alumni do not qualify, or you qualify for OSEP grant, but feel free to reach out to me, because I think you as an alumni have better options in terms of savings than you would for the grant, I believe. But we can chat and I can do the numbers. Right, Dr. Watson? Or
yeah,
it's pretty
I think
similar.
if you're an alumni, reach out, individually, and we can look into that. There is a scholarship for BayPath alumni that did the MOT program that is available for the program that wouldn't be specific to this grant.
Yep. So it might be just a different option that might be slightly better or equivalent to it. So just, yep. All right. I don't see any more questions. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Well, while we're waiting, I just wanted to say that, please definitely reach out if you want to talk a little bit more one-on-one about your own personal interest in this, or you have individual questions. I know myself, Rayanne, and Holly are all available to set up a time to meet with you. We're more than happy, right, to answer things that haven't come up here. Once you have time to think about it and look into it more, if anything does come up, please don't hesitate to reach out. We all have availability in our schedules. We're really excited about this grant opportunity and love the chance to talk about it. So just don't hesitate to reach out. And I want to thank everybody for their time today. I know that 5 o'clock on a Tuesday that there's a lot going on, but we appreciate your time and hope that we were able to answer most of your questions and that we'll hear from you soon.
Absolutely. And I just have, before we sign in, I'm currently employed as a school-based OT. Does this count towards the time that we have to work in a school-based setting?
So the service requirement can only be fulfilled, it starts after you've completed your first year. So it's not retroactive, unfortunately. It has to be after you've completed 1 year of the program, then you can technically start fulfilling your service obligation. Any work before that would not count towards the service requirement.
And then for the school-based experience, does this need to be full-time or part-time?
So that's a good question. And I believe that's included on the frequently asked questions page that I mentioned before. I think that part-time employment might be okay, but it would extend the service obligation.
All right. So this is our contact.
And I would say that all of that would have to be double checked through the service obligation, like on that site. And there's really a specific office to reach out to that will give specific answers to any of those individual questions.
Perfect. This is our contact information, and of course, everything will be sent to you guys as a follow-up, so please don't worry about jotting any of this down, but feel free to reach out to any of us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. And we wanted to thank you so much for joining us this evening, taking the busy time out of your lives to join us. We really appreciate it. Please reach out with any questions, and we hope you have a wonderful night.